and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now, while we may still be on the international break, and the international break is coming towards an end now, there has been a bit of news regarding club football, and that is what we're going to bring you today. So the story was written by The Athletic, and it is regarding Manchester United and Spain fullback Ona Batlle. Now it says that she has rejected Manchester United's latest contract offer, with the 23-year-old's contract expiring this summer, and there is interest from Barcelona and some other of the top clubs in Europe, including Arsenal, Chelsea, Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain. So let's have a look a bit more into this story. So obviously, anyone that knows Ona Batlle, she's been at Manchester United now for a few years, since joining from Levante, and has gone on to be a key player for both Casey Stoney and Mark Skinner since. One of the best young fullbacks there is in women's football, so it is no surprise that she's been touted by a lot of the top European clubs. So the story has here, it says United's negotiations are led by head of women's football Polly Bancroft, who joined United from Brighton and Hove Albion, and it says talks with Batlle started in September and are still ongoing. Sources close to Batlle, however, have been surprised to see talks drag on so long and are waiting on an enticing offer from United. Her current 3-year deal from when she joined from Levante, aged 21, but that contract does not reflect her current market value. She is amongst the lowest paid players at United, but one of the highest performers with 6 assists and 1 goal in 10 league games this season. So it says the former Barcelona academy graduate, who's very happy in Manchester, wants to be part of an ambitious project, and Champions League football is likely to prove pivotal. So that's obviously no surprise in there, with Ona Batlle wanting Champions League football and being a very ambitious player. Obviously one of the best young fullbacks in the game at the minute, as I mentioned earlier, and I think one thing that's going to be very key for Man United, not just tying Ona Batlle down but tying other players down to long-term contracts, is the status of their season. So obviously at the time of recording this international break, Man United are currently top of the WSL, but have played a game more than both Chelsea and Arsenal in 2nd and 4th place respectively, so they do have a small advantage in that point. And obviously we know here in England it's the top 3 places that get Champions League football. As of currently, Manchester United have never played in the Champions League, so that's why it hasn't came to them. So I think if they can manage to secure a top 3 finish, whether that be through winning the title, finishing 2nd, obviously 3rd place, then I think that will help with them signing players to new contracts and bringing in players in the summer to work under Mark Skinner. Another thing I think why contract talks with a lot of players are dragging on a bit is obviously Manchester United's ownership. We don't know the full situation on that. This past Friday was their soft deadline for new owner, so that's another situation that could be taken into account. And obviously Polly Bancroft is only working within her 1st year of the team, so it's going to be a bit of a new hurdle for her, stepping up from Brighton, coming into Manchester United and working on these new deals for key players. For me personally, if I was to look at this right now as of the 20th of February, if Man United don't get Champions League football, I think we'll see a number of players leaving, the likes of Ona Batlle, Mary Epps and Alessia Russo, all 3 who were out of contract in the summer. I think we'll see them leaving to go to these Champions League clubs, because they will have offers for all 3 of them without a shadow of doubt. However, I think if United were to get Champions League football, whether that be via winning the league or one of the other 2 options, then I think there could be a good chance that all 3 of them potentially stay. So I think ownership is one thing that is going to be very interesting to see what happens in that sense, in terms of players coming in and going, and how quickly a change of ownership will help and impact players coming into the club and signing new deals over the next coming months. Because obviously, just looking here now, the stats and figures in terms of contract lengths are from Soccer Donna. So they've got obviously Jade Riviera, May Letizier, Isa Tutunkara, Millie Turner, Ella Toon, all signed for longer deals over the next 1 or 2 seasons. So they have got a few key players that are currently at the club, not just Batlle, but obviously, like I said, Russo, Marriott, key players that are coming out of contract come the 30th of June. So it's going to be very interesting next couple of months to see what happens, because obviously they're now able to talk with other clubs about signing pre-contracts with them from the 1st of July, and with the case of European clubs have been able to do that since the start of January. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in terms of Manchester United being able to secure these players to long-term futures, or whether they end up leaving the club at the end of the season. It's going to be a very interesting tie to see. If Man United do lose them, then it's going to be a hard task for them to try and bridge that gap and potentially become a top 3 consistent side here in England. But I think it's obviously the draw of being able to play for Man United and potentially in the Champions League. If they do get that, then that should be a big enticing thing, because obviously of the name of Manchester United, not just in the women's stage but on a global stage as well. It's absolutely fantastic, and hopefully they will be able to sort out some sort of contract news, and obviously we'll keep you right up to date with it, whether it be on our Twitter, Instagram page, or right here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss a video of ours, and that you have our post notifications turned on so you never miss a video of ours, and that you are following us on social media for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And until next time, we'll see you soon.